Okay, good morning, everybody. I'd like to thank the grace of heaven, the virtues of the masters, mercy and compassion of the grand predecessors, transmitters, temple masters, and everyone. Give me this opportunity to talk about this class, the topic of this class today, which is called the Great Dharma of the three vehicles of Triyana. Triyana. Okay, yana means vehicle. Okay, way, vehicle. All right. Okay, so here's our outline. Okay, so the three vehicles in Chinese is called the 三乘 or 车. You can say 车. It refers to what they call the skillful. This is the Sanskrit called upaya, or expedient means of Buddha's teachings, and they're all part of the one vehicle, or called ekayana, right? Okay, path, which is basically also the Buddhahood path. Okay, Buddhahood. Okay, path. Okay, so the three vehicles are these three. Okay, there's what we call 小乘, which is of the arhats, right? We're familiar with that. 声闻, and then the middle vehicle, it's pratyeka Buddha. Okay, pratyeka Buddha. It's 必自服, right? It's 必自服 or 觉缘, 独缘. Okay. The large vehicle, 大乘, okay, it's called the Bodhisattva vehicle. Okay. Now, in the Lotus Sutra, it's one of the first sutras to use the term Mahayana. Okay, that literally means large or great vehicle, right? Yana, right? Yana, vehicle. Okay, all right. Okay, to describe the Bodhisattva path. Okay, it's in the Lotus Sutra. All right, this is close to the end of Buddha's teachings. You know that, right? This is in the Tentai school of Mahayana Buddhism. They classify the Lotus Sutra as being in the last period. Okay, it's called the period of the Lotus Sutra / Parinirvana period. Okay, it's in that last period, which is roughly 8 years. Buddha only gave two sutras or two teachings. One is Lotus Sutra, roughly 28 chapters. They call it 28 chapters. It's fairly long. And then one called the Parinirvana Sutra. Okay, in the last 8 years, he only taught those two teachings, if you will, sutras. Okay, okay. So the three vehicles are, described in chapter 3 of Lotus Sutra. It's basically called, that chapter 3 is the parable of the burning house. It's called the parable of the burning house. Okay, all right. So I just summarize, okay? That's what the parable pretty much, the content of the parable, which is that, okay, he gave a story, Buddha gave a story, that there was a, wealthy father, or, he has a, big house, manor, whatever, mansion, but it was burning, and he has 3 young children who were playing inside the house, playing with their toys or whatever, just playing. Okay, but so they're oblivious to the fire, right? To the fire, because they're folk, they're trained. Look at these kids. I mean, they're oblivious to a lot of things. Okay, anyway, so the father was very worried. He couldn't get the children to come out, right? So he enticed them by saying to the children, 3 children, okay, saying, "Listen, children, I have a cart for each one of you." So there are 3 carts, right? Different sizes. And I feel that I have a lot of different toys, special toys for you to play, in each of these cards. So can you, come on out, stop playing in the house, come on out. Okay, so they did. Okay, so once outside, instead of putting them in those 3 cards, small cards, okay, different sizes, he put them in one big cart called the, white bullock. He called it the white bullock. White bullock. Bullock means a male bull, right? It doesn't mean a big male bull, okay? So it's a white one, okay? Okay, so those 3 cards that he originally had filled with toys are those 3 different size cards. One small, one medium, one big, okay? So it's called a goat, deer, and ox, okay? Cart, okay? So they correspond to the small, middle, and large vehicle, okay? All right? So these first 2, goat and deer, because that's pretty small, right? A goat can only pull, can't pull too big of a cart, right? And a deer slightly bigger. I mean, not slightly bigger. It depends on what type of deer. Reindeer. Or, is caribou a type of deer? Yeah, I guess caribou is. But I never heard of caribou cart. But Santa Claus had what? The reindeer cart, right? I mean, but he needs quite a few reindeer. He has like 9 reindeer, is it? I forgot. Rudolph, right? And then whatever. Anyway, okay. So the point is, those are called lesser because they're small. They're small and then middle, okay? They're considered the Theravada school. Theravada, okay? Which we'll go into a little bit detail. Basically, it's the arhatship or pratyeka Buddha. Then the large vehicle, the ox cart, is considered the Bodhisattva path or Mahayana. Get it? Okay? So that's the distinction, okay? This basically symbolizes how Buddha uses the 3 vehicles, the small, middle, and large, or the goat, deer, and ox, as a skillful way, okay, of teaching, his teachings in order to liberate sentient beings. But there's just one cart, okay, just one way. The reason why we distinguish it is because there are different levels, different sizes, etc. Okay? Okay, that's all. Okay? But actually, eventually, this is the one way. Because if you really want to go back to Buddha's teachings, if you read all his sutras, it's basically, he just said, there's only one level or one goal. You can say maybe one goal is better. That's it. All right? Okay. All right. Okay. Now, so each cart or vehicle, leaks enlightenment. It's still called nirvana, but then which we're going to detail the different levels, different types, categories. Okay, even though the Theravada only call one, but doesn't. Okay, so it depends on the individual level of understanding and achievement. They will lead to 3 levels of enlightenment. Okay, which we call. We'll go into detail. The arhatship, the pratyeka Buddha, and the Bodhisattva. Okay, just as like the Dharma is like a great monsoon rain, right? When the monsoon rain comes, guess what? It rains on the whole area. It doesn't rain just one tiny little area, right? Just your house or just this farm or whatever, okay? Okay, so it nourishes many kinds of plants, right? All types of plants. Trees, big shrubs, small trees, little trees, big trees, etc., okay? Okay, so these different plants can represent, these. Get it? Okay? All right? Different beings, different humans, okay? So all human beings receiving, even though it's that teaching, right? Buddhist one teaching, but they, depending on their, you can say capacities, their determination, level, etc., can only absorb so much, right? Not everybody can absorb the same, right? Okay, so that's in chapter 5 of the Lotus Sutra. It's called the Parable of the Plants. He had many parables. In the Lotus Sutra is one of the few sutras, a couple other sutras that talks a lot of stories. He used stories, parables, called parables. Just like Jesus, right? Jesus in his ministry, he talks a lot of parables too, didn't he? Right? Jesus, right? Okay, so similarly, okay? But depending on how people, can understand them, they achieve different interpretations or different. Okay, so these lesser paths are, we call lesser paths, the small, the medium, etc., are really clever devices, just a means, right? Expedient means, remember, used by Buddhas to what? Get people to practice. Eventually, though, they will be led to the one and only path of Mahayana or full Buddhahood. Okay? Because different people have different levels, right? Some people say, I can't understand, what you're talking, reading these sutras. I'm a simpleton, or I'm very simple-minded. But if you just tell me to follow what rules, I can do that, right? Fine. That's one way, right? Some people, are very bright. You can say bright, smart, intelligent, whatever. But wow, when you tell them the sutra, wow, they understand it to the not just the superficial meaning, but to the highest level. So some people are like, those are rare, of course, but some people are like that, right? What can I say, right? So all right. So therefore, you get these different paths, right? It becomes different paths, right? The small, the middle, the large, etc. And the supreme, there's a supreme one. Okay? All right. So, and also these three vehicles are mentioned, in various sutras. I mean, Avatamsaka talked about a little bit, not so much. I think it's chapter 39, the Ganda Vyuha. Okay, that's the what do you call that? The Sancai Tongzi, the Sudana. Yeah, Sudana. It's the longest chapter in the Avatamsaka Sutra. They mentioned it. And the Surangamsa Sutra, okay, talked a little bit about it. All right? Okay, so let's go to the three vehicles. What are the three vehicles? Okay, let's go to Appendix 1. This is just a kind of summarize, I mean, from a different perspective, okay, a little bit different from what I'm going to talk about in the Word document, in the outline. It kind of summarizes at a, easy, at a glance, on a table, the different vehicles, right? Okay, I also have this Ekayana, the supreme, the white bullock, okay? That's different, okay? Since we're not talking about it, but actually it all leads to this, okay? It leads to this, okay? All right, so, it kind of summarizes the small, the goat, the deer, the ox, okay? At different levels, right? The cart person, what's the path, the realm is, Trikaya, nirvana, levels, awakening, attributes, and what, vows? Did I talk about vows? Oh, practice, and what kind of vows, and powers, okay? Everybody like the powers, okay? Actually, at all three levels, you have different levels of powers, okay? Anyway, except for the Buddha power, that's the biggest one. They have the 10 liberations, all that, okay? The Buddha, that's the Buddha level, okay? All right, okay, anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, so, anyway, okay, so this is kind of summarize some of the key areas, okay? The different type of carts, okay, or vehicles, all right? But let's go into detail let's talk about the first vehicle, the goat, or we call it a small vehicle, lesser vehicle. Small. Lesser doesn't sound so good, but anyway. Okay, basically, it's called, this is going to be a very, common term in a lot of the Buddha sutras, Shravakas or hearers, literally, okay? It's basically arhatship, path, or, the goat cart, if you will. Okay, so it basically means those who hear Buddha's Dharma, specifically of the Four Noble Truths, because that's the very first teaching, if you will, that Buddha gave, right, at the deer park at Sarnath, right? And the Eightfold Paths, okay? Because the Four Noble Truths are part of the Eightfold Paths, right? It's part of the first one. And the first path is, it's to understand also the Four Noble Truths. So they're connected. Okay, so, and those are separate topics. We don't need to go too much detail into them, right? I put it in the appendix so you guys can, reference them, okay? All right, I mean, I put it in a lot of detail here, okay? The Four Noble Truths, okay? Appendix A, okay? These four, okay? Somebody, that's different class that we'll talk about it, okay? But it's very fundamental, okay? So you can say, and then the the Eightfold Paths, okay? All right? So, but just we in our class, we should know those things. I mean, we should be at least familiar a little bit, okay? Right? Of what those things are. Okay, so basically, people who hear that teaching and follow that, the full, at the very basic level, at the beginning level, are basically qualifies us or you, those people, as arhat level, okay? Get it? Okay, that's arhat level. Now, there are 4 levels, though, okay? So, let's see, here, hold on. There are 4 levels, okay? The arhatship, okay? There are 4 levels here, okay? All right, 4 levels, okay? So you have to go through each one, you know that? unless you can do this right away, which is, depends on one's level of cultivation. Like, for example, in the deer park, more information. He has those 5 ascetic friends that were, searching with him, right? For at least, 6 years? 6+ years? 6 years. Right after Siddhartha Buddha left his palace. He had those 5, quote unquote friends or fellow searchers, searching with him, okay, or cultivating, right? Okay. One of those 5 was called Kandina, depends on, if it's Pali or Sanskrit term or word. He was the eldest of the bunch, of the group. When he heard the Eightfold Noble Path, he became an arhat. You know that? Buddha said, "Oh, you have seen the light. Okay, you are an arhat. You're going to be an arhat." Okay, so it depends. But that person cultivated quite, and also when he was born with pretty, you can say, special talents, or very above average talent. Let's put it that way. Okay, so it just proves maybe in previous lives he also cultivated, before. You know what I'm trying to say? Okay, so it depends on your level. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, so basically the first level is called Sotapanna. It's the stream enter. Literal translation. That's what it means. Literal translation. It just means the person who is kind of a little bit awakened. He has some awakening. He's awakened to say, hey, I want to enter this path or search or cultivation for nirvana, for enlightenment. Okay, so anyway, these are details. We don't need to go to details, but if you want, be technical. Actually, the person who qualifies to at this level of arhatships, okay, is you have to do this. You have to do this. You have to eliminate 88 deluded views. You know that? Okay, what are the 88 deluded views? Okay, is that it? Yeah. Okay, it's basically the 10 wrong views, right? We have 10 wrong views, right? The 5 sharp king, that's these 5, and then the 5 dull views. And if you notice, these 3 are the 3 poisons. Okay, if we don't go to detail, and it's with respect. It's these 10, 5 plus 5, 10 types of views. Okay, one's the sharp. These are the sharp, and these are the dull. We call it dull vice system. With respect to the Four Noble Truths. Okay, with respect to that, in the realm of desire, that's one level. Okay, so it's not easy. Okay, obviously, in respect to origin, cessation, path, these 3 views don't apply, right? So there are 32 views, okay, in this first, in this realm, in the first realm of desire, which is human realm, right? Remember realm of desire? You know what realm of desire is, right? You guys can look it up in this. I didn't open it up. This file, the 10 Dharma states. Okay, we have a separate class for that, right? Okay, we have a separate class. You should remember what they are, right? Okay. Anyway, the realm of desire. That's the human realm. Human realm, animal realm, celestial, part of the, underworld too, hungry ghost realm. Okay, that's the realm of desire. All right, okay. So as a Sropatana, you would have to, in order to achieve this first level, you have to get rid of all that. Not easy, huh? Not easy. So, yeah, what's that? So if you could achieve that level, that means you only have 7 more rebirths. 7 more rebirths in either the heavenly or human realm. Heavenly realm means the celestial realm, right? We say the Qi Tian Xian, right? Qi Tian. And there are many levels, right? There are many levels there. If you look at the 10 Dharma realms, it's listed in here, okay? They say there are 33 or something. Not 33, at least 18 or something like that. Quite a few, okay? Anyway, all right? So that's just the first level. My God, think about it. So this is called the gradual method. That's why it's called the Theravada school. Okay, we say the gradual. Okay, anyway. Now, if you could do that in those rebirths, okay, as this first level, once you rebirth, in these realms, if you could continue, right, to advance, to progress, believe it or not, okay, to progress, okay, you have to eliminate the first 6 degrees of the first kind of the realm of desire. Because when you reincarnate as a Sropatana, don't forget, you're still in the realm of desire. Okay? Those realms, right? Those celestial realms, all those different realms, or even, okay, chances are you won't be an animal, but you'll probably be a human or in the celestial being. You still have to cultivate to go to the next level, to this level, called the once returner. Okay? All right? Okay? That means you have to eliminate this. Now that's the other, okay, it's called the 81 delusion. This is called the 88. I should have put Chinese here, but that's okay. It's the 81 cognitive delusions. Ooh, this is even more it's higher level. It's more subtle. It's more refined. Maybe that's a better more refined. Okay, so no longer it still has to do with these views. Okay, there's still views or delusion. Okay, about these the three poisons and arrogance. Okay, in this path, that's called one ground. You have to eliminate first 6. Did I say 6? Yeah, first 6. Okay, you have to eliminate the first. First 6 degrees. Okay, of the 9. Then, if you do this in the realm of desire, remember realm of desire when you are a Shropatana, you have to rebirth here, right? Still in realm of desire. If you could do that, then you can attain this level. Whew, not easy. Okay. So then, once you attain this level, you only have one more rebirth. Okay, in the realm of desire. Yeah, it's still called realm of desire. Yeah, because you're in the realm of devas or human realm still. Just one more rebirth. That's what they call it, once returner. Get it? Okay. So if you do that, if you are at this level and you are you reborn in one of these in this level in the realm, human realm, or as a celestial being, you have to. If you continue to progress, you eliminate the final 3 degrees of this, i.e., these. Okay, in the realm of desire. Right? If you could eliminate that. Now, these are higher level. Okay, this is very more subtle, more refined. Then you could become anagama. Anagaman, which is a non-returner. Sorry, that means you no longer rebirth. It says non-returner, right? But you say, hey, how come you still have the rebirth? It means non-returner to the human realm. Get it? So it's different level now. It's a higher level of achievement, you can say, right? So you only need to rebirth in the realm of form, okay, which is part of it's above the realm of desire. Remember this realm of desire, realm of form, and then what? Realm of formlessness. Remember the sanjie, right? The sanse or sanjie. The 3 realm, triple realm. They call it triple realm, okay? So you're now rebirthing here, which is much, much higher level, okay? All right, okay? And then in this level, as a anagaman, okay, you still have to cultivate. You still have to progress, obviously. Okay, so now if you could, it's called the 5 higher fetters. That's chains, right? These are all lower fetters right here. These are called the lower fetters, okay? This and this, okay? All these, okay? Then once as an anagaman, if you can eliminate this. Wow. Okay, this is called the 5 higher. Okay, it's attachments, pride, restlessness, or ignorance. Okay, that means you have to eliminate realm of form and realm of formless. All these 72. Okay, not easy, huh? 72. I mean, but don't forget there are different levels. That realm of form and realm of formless. Okay, then you can become what? An arhat. Get it? So that means if you achieve that, then you don't, right, reincarnate in the realm of desire, realm of form, and realm of form. That means what? No more reincarnation. So technically, that's nirvana. No need to reincarnate, period. Okay? All right? Okay, so that's also nirvana. Okay? But that nirvana, it's still called this level. It's called without remainder residue, or that's the Mahayana would call it that. Whereas let's look at this chart. That's better. Let's look at this chart. That's better right here. 3 vehicles. Yeah, right here. Nirvana. That's here. Okay, as a arhat, right? Arhat. That's called without remainder or residue, or isolated, uncompounded. It's isolated because it's in a different realm. Get it? You are above those 3 realms. So you're kind of isolated in that realm. That's called nirvana too. I mean, from the Theravada, they call it isolated or uncompounded. Okay, that means it's not dependent. Okay, unconditioned. Now, from the Mahayana, they call it without remainder. What does without remainder residue? We got to define that. It just means that you don't have a cause to reincarnate. That is remainder, meaning that there's still like a loose end, like we say loose end, right? Like a loose end that you have to resolve in the realm of form. Get it? Realm of form. Okay? Or realm of desire. Sorry, realm of desire, realm of form. In those three realms. That's what I mean. Okay? So that's what it means by without residue or remain. It doesn't necessarily mean that you eliminated all karmic causes. It doesn't necessarily mean that. It could, but it doesn't necessarily. Okay? All right? It doesn't. Okay? It's not dependent on that. All right? So that's what's an arhat level. So it's not very. So it's not easy even at arhat level. Okay? But these are gradual. These are takes a long time. Okay? That's why Lecturer Liu always talks about this method is very take many lifetimes. You know that, right? Like Buddha's disciples, all his major disciples were all arhats. All became an arhat. Okay, because that's their path. But that's not because they did it in his one lifetime, but because he said that these disciples who became arhats, cultivated many lifetimes before also. Okay? All right. So that's the arhatship level. Okay? Now let's talk about the second level, we call middle vehicle, right? Medium vehicle. It's called the pratyeka Buddha. It's still a Buddha. They call him a Buddha. Okay? Because they achieve a higher level than the arhats. You know that? Okay, higher level. That's because now they're not that many. They're not that many as arhats. Okay, and there's a reason why. It's because they lived during the time when they achieved this level. You call them. It's because there are no Buddhas. Either there are no Buddhas or no Dharmas. You know that? So they have to achieve it on their own by themselves, literally. At least an arhat, they what? Listen to the what? Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Paths. So there would be a teacher or a Buddha around, right? Get it? So that's what they call them, hearers or whatever, hearers. Whereas Pratyeka Buddhas are like, they call them, they're lone Buddha, lone, solitary, private. It's pretty, I don't know if it's pretty sad. It's pretty lonely. Anyway, so there are no teachers, no masters, okay? So they went on their own. And the way they achieved that, obviously there's no noble truths or to cultivate, no Dharma, right? There's no Dharma to cultivate by or to guide them. How do they do it? They ponder or they contemplate very deeply. They delve into breaking this or understanding the 12, what we call that, chains or links of dependent causation. The 12, you know what they are, right? The 12, right? It's the 12 is here, right? Okay? All this. They pondered it and they understood the links. They understood the causal. It's like understanding causality, more or less. And they are able to break free of it. It's not easy. Still not easy. It could probably take many lifetimes, okay? And don't forget, in every eon, let's say kalpa, maha kalpa, I mean, depends on how long. It's not necessarily that Buddhas all appear, you know that? Are present, you know that? There are some eons or kalpas that Buddhists don't appear. You know that? Scary, huh? So then humans are left on their own. Anyway, okay. So they would have to cultivate it. Okay? So once they ponder that, I mean it took many times, okay? They achieved it. So they achieved lonely or solitary because they did not, but they do not also teach. You know that? So it's very, you can say it's very selfish. I mean, they keep to themselves, okay? That's what they call them, private, okay? They just become self-enlightened, self-taught, if you will, self-aware, and they don't teach anybody, okay? They don't teach. At least the arhats, they can teach, okay? Because, all right, okay, I mean, look at some of Buddha's disciples. Mahakasyapa, he became an arhat, right? Okay, but he still continued to taught, right? So he's the first patriarch of Buddhism or Zen Buddhism, okay? Ananda, same thing. Ananda, you know that? Ananda did not achieve arhatship, do you know that? Until after Buddha passed. You know that? After Buddha's passing. In the first Buddhist council. In the first Buddhist council, you know who gets among the disciples, right? Buddha said. You know who's qualified to attend? Not all his disciples. Only those people who are arhats. You know that? Yeah, that's the requirement. So one of There's another story. You guys can read it. Anuruddha, who's another cousin of Buddha. He's the one who's blind. I mean, there's another story to that, why he's blind. He could see, because he's an arhat, that Ananda was not an arhat yet. So when Mahakasyapa called for the first council, to go over Buddha's dharmas, that's to establish the Tripitakas, right? Okay, Mahakasyapa said, okay, only those who are arhats can attend or can hold this meeting. And so Anuruddha, one of the 10 major disciples, saw that Ananda, who is also one of the 10 major disciples, still did not attain enlightenment. Was not enlightened as an arhat. So he was forbidden. Ananda was forbidden to attend. And yet Ananda was the one who has what? I don't want to say photographic memory, but he has a fantastic memory. He memorized, remember, nearly all of Buddha's, at least his sutras. Not the Vinaya. Vinaya was Upali. Upali was the other disciple who memorized those, and he was giving he was going to give the precepts. That's the Vinaya. Vinaya are like the precepts, sets of rules, etc., etc. Okay, anyway. So here's what happened to Ananda. So Ananda was very, I wouldn't say unhappy, but he just was, was, I wouldn't say desperate, but he was worried that, how am I going to attend the Buddhist council meeting if I'm not enlightened yet as an arhat? So it's funny. So, I don't know, either the night before or several nights before the council meeting, it was funny. He attained enlightenment. He attained arhatship. You know that? Supposedly, he was prepared to repeat, the sutras, right? Buddha's teachings, right? Thus have I heard, right? That's the famous line, okay? And he was pondering it, and then he was something, I don't know, he was like very single focus, okay, concentrated in that. And then it was getting late, so I think he was sitting down or something like that, or sitting in that lotus position or whatever. And then he got up and he was going to go to bed or something like that. And then he attained enlightenment as an arhat. And so, so according to, this is a long story, but it's pretty good. At least you know something. According to those days, it's called Theravada Buddha, okay, Buddhism. Even though they don't call themselves that now, they don't give that name now. They believe that there are four postures of attaining attaining arhatship. You know that? 4 postures. What are the 4 postures? When you're sitting, obviously, either lotus position or in a meditative position. Standing, yeah, very interesting. Walking, or emotion, that's maybe a better term. Like when you're doing something or whatever. And then reclining, when you're lying down. So supposedly, all Buddha's, major disciples who attain arhatship in one of those 4 positions. Get it? Whereas Ananda, he was special. He was in between, standing or lying down or something like that. Something like that, okay? So that's what they say. That's a funny story. And then he attained. And then Anuruddha or whatever that is another cousin, but on the father's side, not on the mother's side, whereas Ananda's on the mother's side. Saw, yes, okay, Ananda, you are eligible to it. And therefore, we have all the sutras. Get it? I mean, that's recited, okay? All right, so that's a long story, I'm sorry, but it's good to know, okay? So, anyway, so the Pratyeka Buddha, go back to Pratyeka Buddha. It's that they have, at a higher level, because why? They eliminated all illusory views and thoughts. Like an arhat. Arhats still have some traces, you know that? Okay, it's not complete. Anyway, okay. Now, it's very funny. There's a sutra called Rhinoceros Sutra. Rhinoceros Sutra. You gotta be kidding me. Somebody made that up. No, that's not true. It's in there. It's in the Tripitakas, okay? I mean, Mahayana, they have it too in one of those sutras. It's called the Rhinoceros Sutra because Asanga, who is the older brother of Vasabundhu, which is the 21st patriarch of Buddhism. Okay, anyway, he mentioned that this Pratyeka Buddha is like a lone solitary Buddha, like the solitary Indian rhinoceros. In India they have rhinoceros. You know that? Not just in Africa, but in India they have the Indian rhinoceros. They're solitary animals. So it's supposedly in the sutra called the Rhinoceros Sutra. It depends. Some people translate that it's the Rhinoceros Horn Sutra or something like that. I mean, it doesn't matter. Okay, anyway, it has to do with rhinoceros. Anyway, they're like the solitary animal, so that's what the Buddha is like. Okay, that type of Buddha. Anyway, okay, that's a funny story. So now you guys know there's a sutra called Rhinoceros Sutra. Okay. Anyway, okay. Now the larger vehicle or the greater vehicle, it's called the Bodhisattva level. Okay. Now it's also pretty long. Yeah, it's 52 stages. Pretty broad. Okay. All right. Okay. And that's described in detail in this. Okay. Dasa Bhumika. Okay. Dasa Bhumika Sutra. Okay, which is chapter 26 of the Avatasaka Sutra. Okay, all right. They talk about. I don't want to go into detail because we already talked about it. Okay, all right, all this. But here's where one important thing is this: it's the Buddhist Bodhisattva who has generated Bodhisattva, awakened mind, and they're striving to attain Buddhahood, not just for themselves, but for the benefit of. Actually, if you look at this table here, it's right here, very important. Okay, it's called, this is the large vehicle, right, the ox. Okay, that's the Bodhisattva level. Okay, they delay their Buddhahood even though they may be enlightened, very high level. Okay, at the high, we call, remember that I talked about 52 levels, right? Okay, but they're at least at the maybe 47, 46 level or whatever. Okay, very high, but they could become a Buddha. They could, or they're eligible, you can say, qualify maybe. But they still delay. So there's still that thought, right, you can say, okay, or a vow, thought. They say, I do not want to enter Buddhahood yet. I'll wait until I can try to save or, ferry all the other sentient beings to become a Buddha first. Woo! So basically it's like saying they're first in line to a concert or to whatever, But they decide to say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to go in first. I'm going to step aside and let all the other people behind me go in first. Make sense? Okay? It's similar to that. Okay? Analogy. So that's called the Bodhisattva mind. Okay? Unlike a stream enter or a solitary Buddha. They only they only worry about themselves. Right? Okay? Difference. Big difference. That's why the Bodhisattva path or vehicle is called the large vehicle. That's all. Okay? Large vehicle. Okay? Or the ox cart. Okay? All right? So that's very important. Okay? That's the definition, you can say, of a Bodhisattva. So example. Right? Guanyin or Avalokitesvara, which we talk about here, right? Avalokitesvara. All these, they're called Mahasattva because they're like literally at the door, in front of the door of Buddhahood. Of Buddhahood meaning what? Anuttara Sammasambodhi, right? Which I talked about in the introduction, right? The highest level. Okay, so all these, right? Siddhigarbha, same thing, right? What's Siddhigarbha's vow, right? Talk about, I am not a Buddha until what? All beings in the underworld are saved. My God, he'll never become a Buddha then, okay? But he still became a Buddha. Okay, that's the power of the vow. Okay, anyway. Okay, so that's why it's called the great vow, first vow. Okay, we already talked about this in a separate class called the four great vows, right? All right, and also maybe explain about the bodhisattvas. Okay, so anyway, so that's what the I didn't get to finish. Oh, I'm finished. Yeah, okay, let's conclude. Let's just conclude. Okay, so there's one part. Okay, so a bodhisattva is what? How do they cultivate? They practice the 6 paramitas and use the 4 means of salvation. It's called the 4 attraction. Okay, Appendix G. You guys can see it. Okay. Now they also have bodhisattva precepts. By the way, they practice using bodhisattva. You know what the bodhisattva precepts are? There are 10 major, 48 minor. It's in this Brahma Net or Brahmahala Sutra. Okay, it's found in. Okay, it's basically this. The first, it's 48. I'm only giving you the first. Okay. Right here, the 10 bodhisattva, okay, Fan Wang Jie, okay. It's the first 5 are the major 5. Remember the 5, the cardinal sins or whatever you want to call it, right? Is it called the 5 cardinal sins? I think it's called it, right? 5 cardinal sins, right? Don't kill, don't steal, don't have lust, right? and do not, say bad words, right? And then do not sell or trade in, poison, right? That's first. Okay. Then the next five are more specific. Okay. So these are the Bodhisattva precepts. You know that? Okay. Anyway. All right. Okay. So anyway, so as a Bodhisattva practice, they practice those things. Okay. I mean, they follow that. Okay. Okay. And also they display. I talked about earlier about the Bodhi mind or Bodhisattva, which is the 4 immeasurable minds. Make sense? And we talked about that, right? Separate class, so you guys know, because that's very important. Okay. Then the 4, because they follow the 4 immeasurable minds, they also take the 4 great vows. Make sense? Whereas Pratyeka Buddhas and Arhats don't take those vows. Okay? Makes sense? All right? Okay. And then there are 52 levels, which we don't. There are too many levels. Okay. So let's conclude. Basically, all 3 vehicles are expedient, skillful ways to achieve nirvana. Okay, we might talked about nirvana. Oh, okay. Here's very important, guys. Nirvana is now at the where's nirvana? Right here. Where's nirvana? Okay. Even though at the locks are cut, it's still with and without remainder, because they still have to, they remember they took those vows to reincarnate, remember? As humans, right? Because they want to save human beings, right? So therefore there is nirvana with remainder. Get it? Make sense? That's called remainder, because they chose, they're following up on those vows, right? Okay, that's fine. Now, at the 48th, remember I talked about 52 levels? At the 48th and above, it's called non-abiding nirvana. That's the highest level. That's the nirvana, let's look at 4 states. That's the nirvana of the Buddhas. Non-abiding. What does non-abiding mean? Non-abiding does not mean, it means, you don't say, I need to reach a nirvana, or I need to stay nirvana. It just means that they naturally, this is very important. Non-abiding is the highest level, because that means they can come and go freely and be attached to either saying, I need to be a Buddha or I'm a human. Get it? So it's non-abiding. So that means they can freely come and go. And that's one of the titles of what a Buddha is, called a Tathagata. One who comes and goes as they please, if you will, something like that. Okay, that's called non-abiding. Okay, so very important, all right? So that's the highest level, okay? So all teachings of the 3 vehicles are merely expanding to direct people towards the one path to become liberated, all right? From the burning house of the 3 realms. We may talk about the burning house, the realm of desire, form, and formless, right? Remember the triple realms? Okay, so all 3 vehicles are part of the supreme vehicle, okay? All right, so that's what it is, okay? And which is the Anuttara Samyak Bodhi, which is the non-abiding, okay? I just talked about it, all right? Okay, which is, all right? So also the 4, they're mentioned in other sutras, okay? All right, I'm sorry, not enough time, so I know there are things that I haven't said or, explained incorrectly. I ask for Buddha's forgiveness.